one of the favorite things for all of you folks, the viewers, other than Pete's opinion on sports, is this particular segment where we bring in somebody, in this case, Josh Mancuso, to talk as he plays both sides of the Army-Navy game that's coming up this weekend. Let's take a look and listen.
So, Army. Well, if it isn't Canoe U. Oh, okay. Well, the big day is here. Did you finally learn how to march in a straight line? No. I mean, yes, I know how to. I'm talking about the Army-Navy football game, okay? You're going down. All right, settle down, Popeye. All right, you don't stand a chance. We're 19th in the AP poll. We also were ranked for a while. Yeah, until you got destroyed by Notre Dame and Tulane. They beat you pretty good, too, you know, Notre Dame did. That's our only loss. You couldn't beat Rice. I'm not even talking about the school. You know what? Why are y'all called cadets?
I'm not even talking about the school.
You're a midshipman. What is that? Just call it what it is, okay? You're sailors.
It's pretty amazing.
Your mascot is a mule, okay? That's like a half-assed horse. Yours is a goat. Remember when we kidnapped your goat? You got the wrong one. You literally kidnapped the wrong goat. Another failed mission by West Point plebe. You know what? You'll wait till the march on, okay? You try and keep up for once. At least they look good at the game, okay? Are your cadets going to wear their special little coat dresses? They're overcoats, and yes, they'll be wearing them, and after the game, they're going to watch as you guys sing your song first. No, sir. We're singing second this year. No, you definitely are not. You're losing, okay? Our quarterback is a running back. He doesn't throw the football. Whatever. He's got 29 touchdowns. Okay? He's living the dream. West Point is the best 4 years of a man's life. Oh, as good as your 4 years in 8th grade? You know what? At least we're not Air Force. That's true. Actually, we need them. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Go Navy, beat Army. Go Army, beat Navy. Go Navy, beat Army. Go Army, beat Navy. Go Navy, beat Army. Oh, no. Navy, Army. Go Navy. No. Go Army, beat Navy. You're confused. Go Navy, we're going to sink the Army. Sink Navy. Go Navy. Go Army, beat Navy. Army. Go Army, beat Navy.
That guy's incredible, man. He really is.
There's always a lot of thought that goes into his videos, Pete, and he plays both sides. So he's a one-man show. Let's talk, Pete, about other one-man shows, like perhaps the GOAT of GOATs as far as receivers. You wanted to talk about Randy Moss.
Yeah, and the reason we wanted to focus on Randy Moss, John, is just what a career the guy had. And unfortunately, we're hearing the news. Now, we don't really know the details. There's been a lot of speculation out there on what the health reasons are, but he had to step down because of health reasons. Now, there's been some articles out there that say, well, it could be liver, it could be this, it could be that. We don't really know yet. It hasn't been released, and until that's released, we won't know. But I think it's something to really take a look and understand that what a great person he's been, I think, over his career. And he wasn't a great person young in life. I'm the first one to acknowledge that. It's why he didn't end up getting into Notre Dame. He started off at Florida State. Then he went to Marshall. Then he gets drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. Why did he get drafted by the Vikings, John? Well, because he's 6'4". He's got a 41-inch vertical. The guy's just as good a basketball player, if not better than he is football player, but he chose football. His abilities as a football player, oh, by the way, I think he ran a 4.25 at the combine as far as his 40 time on top of all those other numbers. But is this guy the GOAT in terms of wide receivers? Because a lot of people will say, well, you know what? I might go down to San Francisco and find a couple of receivers over there, or I could go to this place over here. I think he's the GOAT. I think he's the greatest of all time. I truly look at him the way I look at Michael Jordan, where he was a difference maker. He played at an amazing level for all the years that he played, and he played a long time, and there's almost no record that he hasn't broken. So the fact that he's broken them or maybe even still holds the records still says a lot about who Randy Moss is. He's a fun guy. He had a few issues once in a while up in Minnesota, but other than that, John, the guy has been a great person on and off the field. I love the guy. I think he's a special person. Our prayers go out to whatever the issue is that's caused him to step away from ESPN. But is he the GOAT for you as well, John? Because he certainly is for me. I mean, you know, Jerry Rice was great, but he was not Randy Moss.
That's right. I mean, 23 touchdowns, Pete, NFL single season record in 2007. He led the league in touchdown catches 5 times. You know, there's hardly anything that we could say about him that is not record breaking. He's, of course, in the Hall of Fame, along with Jerry Rice, of course, because the discussion would really just be those two, Pete. There's, you know, everybody else, you know, Megatron and many of these fantastic receivers were great. But those two, Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, are a whole different level than everybody else.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we'll jump to Bill Belichick, because this is a very interesting story. So obviously, anybody who doesn't know the full story, Belichick's been in the NFL, John, since 1975. He's 72 years old. And apparently, even though he might have thought he was done, he's not done. And he actually did take an interview. He's interviewed in the NFL level before, or at least had conversations. That's what we've been told. But he got a call from North Carolina, and it looks like he has accepted to be the head coach at North Carolina. A lot of people would say, you know what? Here's the problem. It's college football, not the NFL. And I would push back and say, oh, no. Basically, college football is the NFL now. It's just a starter league. And as a matter of fact, with starters that make a lot of money, much more money than many players in the NFL, right? So between the NIL stuff that he can deal with, and I think suddenly North Carolina is going to do pretty well in terms of getting some of those alumni to kick in some money, Michael Jordan and others. I really think that this could be an incredible hire because of the fact that he really is going to a free agency. They've got NIL. What's the difference between the portal and free agency? Pretty much nothing, right? I mean, so for the people who say he's not at the college level, I would disagree. And I would say that it's something that I think he can step in and do well almost immediately. And I think there's a lot of kids out there that still respect Tom Brady and understand what he did when he was at New England. The only negative that I would say about Bill Belichick is this, John. Here are the stats. When he was with Brady, he's won 243 games and lost 75. Without Brady, he's won 84 games and lost 103. So I would say that there's a lot of credit that goes to Tom Brady for a lot of the victories that he's had in his career. But that's not to say he's not a great coach, because I think he is. And I think he's going to do really well at North Carolina. How about you?
I would agree. For all the reasons you laid out, I don't need to reiterate them, Pete, but the fact that it's so similar to free agency now with the portal and so forth, I think he'll bring a lot of kids to North Carolina that wouldn't have otherwise decided to go there, much like Dion did at Colorado.
Right.
So I really look forward to him being on the sidelines next year, Pete, as I think he will be for North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And you hit on the other big thing. They're going to have enough NIL money to sign big players. And it's not just Michael Jordan. There's a lot of high-profile grads and hangers-on that just love to go to those games. And to see the Tar Heels be as good as they can be in football, maybe even matching what they do in basketball. So I like it, and I think he'll do well there.